Man, Arkham City was so good, I just wanna get into Batman comics now. Can't be that hard, right? There's Batman number 1 right there, so I guess I gotta start with that. No, that's Batman number 1. Wait, no, that's Batman number 1. Wait, what's year 1? Earth 1? Issue 1025? What the fuck? Okay, real talk. If you've ever watched an MCU or DCU movie,
Mantis, look out!
played the Arkham or Spider-Man game,
Turn around right now and see that!
and thought, damn, I wanna read the comics now. And then immediately got scared because of the massive history these heroes have and you have no absolute idea where to start. I'd see fans casually dropping references to storylines I'd never even heard of, and I just accepted that comics weren't for me because I ain't reading some comic from 1962 just to know why Paul and Peter Parker broke up in a restaurant where Superman fought Chuck E. Cheese in issue 6767 and somehow triggering a new crisis because Batman forgot his car keys back in Darkest Night. Until I realized I was massively overthinking it. Because I'm gonna show you the OEE method I used to finally break into comic books, and it's way simpler than you think. First, let's kill the thing that stops most people from even trying. Yeah, don't you need to know like 80 years of backstory? Well, no, you really don't. Comic writers know new readers exist. They're not writing stories that require a PhD in continuity. So think about it. When you watch a new Spider-Man movie, do you need to watch every Spider-Man movie ever made? Well, no. You just need the basics. Peter Parker, the Spider Bite, Uncle Ben, great power, yada yada yada, the movie ends with the rest. The comics work the exact same way. Plus, comics get rebooted constantly anyway. Batman's origin has been retold a dozen different ways. Superman's power level changes depending on who's writing him. There are multiple universes, alternate timelines, what-if stories. The point is, individual stories are designed to stand alone. You're not taking a test, you're reading a story about a character you like. So once you accept that you don't need to know everything to enjoy something, it gets so much easier. Alright, here's the method. It's only 3 steps. OE stands for Origin, Essentials, Expand.
Choose your character.
Who's your favorite superhero right now? Maybe you're obsessed with Daredevil after the Born Again show. Maybe you sank 100 hours into Arkham City. Or maybe the Spider-Man game.
That shit's ass.
Maybe you just watched James Gunn's Superman and you want to read more Superman. So pick that character. That's your starting point. Now here's where people mess up. They try to find issue number 1 from something like 1975, 1962. Don't do that. Instead just search for the character's origin comic. Doesn't really matter where you get it. You can get it on Reddit, Google search, doesn't matter. Here's the fun part. Most characters have multiple origin stories by different writers, and they're all valid. Superman's origin has been retold a dozen times, just pick whichever one is hard that looks cool to you. Maybe you like more classic comic like Superman's Secret Origin, or maybe you like a more modern take on Superman's origin like Superman Birthright by Mark Waid. So for Batman, you also have Batman Year 1, for Daredevil, you have The Man Without Fear. So just read it. Enjoy it, and if you loved it, remember the writer's name. Okay, now you know how your character became a hero. Next, you read the stories that define who they are. These are the essential reads, basically the greatest hits that fans still talk about 80s later. Best part, most of these are also graphic novels, so they're self-contained and easy to jump into. For Superman, we have All-Star Superman, we have Superman for All Seasons, and Superman Up in the Sky. For Batman, we have The Long Halloween, Hush, Dark Victory, and for Daredevil, we have Born Again and Daredevil Yellow. So these are just a bunch of comics that I can recommend that are actually really good, but there are way more comics that you can just read which are also standalone, so you don't really need any other setup besides that book. And just like that, you're now in the comics. Okay, now the expand part kicks in. You can literally just repeat this method for any other character you're interested in. So let's say you finish some Superman books, but you want a fresh and new tone, maybe a darker one. Well, there's Batman. So you go read his origin, then his greatest hits, and here's the cool part. Once you know multiple characters, you can start reading their team-ups. Batman and Superman, you can read World's Finest to see how both interact. Sometimes a character you're not familiar with shows up in a comic you're reading. Someone like Wonder Woman maybe appears in a World's Finest issue, so the writer gives you a quick, here's who she is. But if you're like, I need more Wonder Woman, I need to know her personality, what her deal is, what her story is, then boom, just repeat the OEE method. Before you know it, you're reading Trinity stories, Justice League stories, and now you're the one recommending comics to your friends. Once you're comfortable with graphic novels, standalone comics, you'll hear people talk about runs. So what is a run? Simply, it's all the issues one writer wrote for a specific title. For example, Ram V wrote Detective Comics from issue 1062 to 1089. Then, Tom Taylor took over at 10,090. So here's the key. You don't need to read the previous run to start a new one. Like I said earlier, writers know you didn't read everything before. They catch you up on what matters and keep the story moving. Best parts? Completed runs usually get collected into volumes, so you're basically reading them as graphic novels anyway. And also, ignore issue numbers, they're meaningless, just focus on the writer. Oh, and remember when I said note the writer's name? Well, because if you love, for example, Superman Birthright by Mark Waid, he also wrote Kingdom Come and an incredible Fantastic Four run. Writers bounce around DC and Marvel constantly and could also help you get into indie comics, which is another great area in the comic book industry that you absolutely need to check. Okay, real quick, these are things that will make your life harder when reading comics. First, don't try to read everything chronologically, you'll lose your mind. Second, don't worry about understanding every reference. If it's important, they'll explain it. Third, don't feel like you need to read current ongoing issues. Completed stories are better for beginners. And lastly, don't let anyone gatekeep you. Oh, you didn't read this issue? Cool, neither did most people anyway. Look, comics are supposed to be fun. That's it, they're not homework. Pick a character you like, read their origin, read some classics, and see what happens. If you pick up a comic and don't like it, whatever, just try a different writer or character. There are thousands of stories out there. I was scared of comics for years because I thought I needed to understand everything. Turns out, I just needed to start with one character and one story. So you got this! So if this helped, you can hit that like button and subscribe if you want. I don't know, maybe I'll upload more if I have the time. So I'll see you in the next one.